Jai Hind everyone. Again, I welcome you all to the third lecture related to the second unit, that is steady state analysis of AC circuits. So in this lecture, I am going to cover AC series circuits, and in AC series circuit, we are going to discuss about RL series circuit, then combination of RC series circuit, and the third one will be RLC series circuit. With that, I am going to cover the topic of series resonance in this lecture also. So starting with the first type of series circuit, this is the most common circuit, as most of the loads that are present in day-to-day life, they are related to RL circuit only. So if we consider any inductive load, whether it is induction motor, so this is a best example of RL series AC circuit. So in this case, as you can see in the figure, R and L, they are connected in series, and this combination, it is supplied from an AC supply. So VR stand for the voltage appearing across the resistance, and VL stand for the voltage appearing across the inductor. V is the supply voltage and I is the supply current. Now, if we draw the phasor of this particular RL series circuit, now in this particular case, we can see that VR, it is in phase with the current. So as this is a series circuit, we have taken current as reference, and we know that in case of purely resistive circuit, voltage and current are in the same phase. That's why VR is in phase with the current. Similarly, this VL, that is the voltage across the inductor, it is in phase quadrature to this voltage across the resistance, and the phasor sum of these two, that will be equal to the supplied voltage V. So this phi is the phase angle that is between the supply voltage and the supply current I. Now, if we write down the expression for voltage, so the supply voltage will be equal to the phasor sum of VR and VL. So VR is the voltage appearing across the resistance and VL is the voltage appearing across the inductor. So the phasor sum of this will be equal to under root VR square plus VL square. Now we know that VR equal to I into R and VL, it is equal to I into XL, where XL is the inductive reactance of this inductor. Now if I take I common, so it will be I into square root of R square plus XL square, and I will be equal to V divided by square root of R square plus XL square. Now this denominator, it is called the impedance of the circuit. Now again, it is the opposition offered to the flow of current. Like we have seen in DC circuit, resistance, it offers the flow of current. Similarly, in case of inductive circuit, as the energy storing elements L and C are present, that's why this simple resistance, now in case of AC circuit, it is replaced by impedance. This impedance, it is denoted by capital Z and the units are ohm. So again, the magnitude of this impedance will be equal to under root R square plus XL square. And again, the phase angle, if we want to calculate, we can calculate it equal to tan phi is equal to XL by R. So this phi is the phase angle, that means the angle by which this current phasor, it is lagging the voltage phasor. So we know that in case of inductive circuit, this current, it always lags this voltage by an angle phi. So this phi is the phase angle between the supply voltage and the line current. So at the end, you can see the equation for current, that is I equal to Im sin omega t minus phi. So V is Vm sin omega t. So we have taken voltage at reference, and this current, it is lagging the voltage by an angle phi. So this is the first circuit, that is called series RL circuit. Now the next thing is how much is the power that is consumed by this RL circuit. So now in case of AC circuit, instead of one, we will have the three different types of power. So let us try to understand all the three one by one. So first one is called apparent power. Now the definition of apparent power is that it is the total power that appears to be transferred from the source to the load. Now the total power that is transferred from the source to the load, that is your apparent power, and it can be determined using the expression V into I. So apparent power is denoted by capital S and the units for this is volt ampere. Second type of power is true power. So true power, or in some books they call it as active power, real power also. So this power is of very much importance to us because this is the actual power that is consumed by the circuit. So whatever the work is done, that is done by this particular power. That's why it is called true power or real power or active power. So higher will be the value of this true power or active power, the more work will be done by any particular load. So the power formula is VI cos phi. So this is the formula to calculate the true power and the units are watt. And the third one is called the reactive power because we have energy storing elements like L and C. So these elements, they generally consume this particular power. So resistance, it always consumes the active power. That's why you can say that the formula to calculate active power can be I square R also, and the units are watt. But the reactive power, it is only related to the energy storing elements, that is L and C. So the reactive power, it is denoted by capital Q and it is equal to VI sin phi. So here the units of reactive power are VAR, or the second formula is I square into X, that can be also used to calculate this reactive power. So basically this is the three types of power that are available in case of AC circuits. Now if we draw the power triangle, so on the base we will have the true power, that will be equal to VI cos phi, and in quadrature to that it will be VI sin phi. So the phasor sum of these two, again it will be equal to apparent power, that will be S equal to V into I. So from this also we can have one formula to calculate the power factor. So the formula will be, in terms of power, it will be the ratio of true power to the apparent power, because true power is VI cos phi and apparent power is VI. So they will get cancelled out. So again we are left with cos phi. So you must remember this particular formula also to calculate the power factor. Next, there is important relationship between these three powers, and that can be derived from this power triangle. That is this apparent power, again it is a phasor sum of true power and reactive power. Now let us try to solve one numerical related to this RL series circuit. So the question is, an inductor coil is connected to a supply of 250 volt at 50 hertz and takes a current of 5 ampere. The coil dissipates 750 watt. Calculate first part power factor, second resistance of the coil, and the third is inductance of the coil. Now we know that the formula for power that is given to us as 750 watt, it is VI cos phi. So P, we know it is 750, voltage it is 250 volt, current is again given to us, that is 5 ampere. So using this particular expression, cos phi will be equal to P by VI. So we got the power factor of this circuit as 0.6 lagging. Lagging, it denotes that the current is lagging the voltage, and the power factor is 0.6. Magnitude of the power factor is 0.6. Next thing, we have to find out the resistance and inductance of the coil. So before finding out the resistance and inductance of the coil, first we should know how much is the impedance of the coil. So impedance is, as we have derived earlier, we know that impedance is equal to voltage divided by current. So it comes out to be equal to 50 ohm. Now as per the impedance triangle, this R is equal to Z cos phi. So it will be equal to 50 into 0.6. So it will be 30 ohm. And reactance you can calculate using this expression also, or you can use the another expression, that is again using impedance triangle, XL is equal to Z sin phi. So either by using the two formulas you should get the same answer, that is equal to 40 ohm. Now we are interested in inductance, and right now we have calculated inductive reactance. So we know that inductive reactance is equal to 2 pi FL. So L will be equal to XL by 2 pi F. So the value of inductance comes out to be equal to 0.127 Henry, or we can say 127 millihenry. So this is all about series RL circuit. Now let us try to discuss about the second type of circuit, that is called RC series AC circuit. So instead of L, now we have capacitance. So if one resistor and one capacitor, they are connected in series, so this forms a RC series AC circuit. So again this particular combination, it is supplied from AC supply, that is having V voltage. So the voltage across the resistor, it is denoted by VR. The voltage across the capacitor, it is denoted by VC, and I is the supply current. Now again, if I draw the voltage triangle, so on the base we will have VR, and again this VR, as we have discussed in case of RL circuit also, it will be in phase with current I. Now this VC, it will be again in phase quadrature to this VR, and the phasor sum of these two, it will be equal to supply voltage V. So here you can see the expression for voltage will be again equal to square root of VR square plus minus VC square, and in this case again minus sign comes from, because we know that capacitive reactance is negative and inductive reactance is positive. So due to that we have this minus sign for VC. So again if we square this minus sign, it will become positive. So ultimately the expression is I under root R square plus XC square. So I will be equal to V by under root R square plus XC square. So again this denominator, it denotes the impedance of this AC circuit. Now again we can find out that the impedance magnitude will be equal to under root R square plus XC square, and again tan phi will be equal to minus XC by R. Now here you can see the expression for voltage is again Vm sin omega t, because we have taken it as reference, but now the current, it is leading the voltage by an angle of phi. This is because the denominator impedance here, it is minus XC. So if it is minus XC, then your phase angle phi will be minus. So if you have the impedance angle as negative and impedance in the denominator, so when you will divide this impedance voltage by the voltage, so it will be positive sign for the current. So you can see here, when you take voltage at reference, the current angle, it will become positive, and positive angle here denotes that current is leading the voltage. So you can see in figure 1 in the waveform, now the current, it is leading the voltage by an angle of phi. And again in case of impedance triangle, you can see here resistance is taken as the base, and as this XC, it is having a negative value, that's why it is lying in the fourth quadrant, and again the phasor sum of these two will be equal to the impedance. So the phase angle phi will be again can be calculated using the expression phi equal to tan inverse minus XC by R. Now let us try to solve one numerical related to this. So the problem is a 10 ohm resistor and 400 ohm microfarad capacitor are connected in series to a 60 volt sinusoidal supply. Now this 60 volt, it will always be the RMS value. The circuit current is 5 ampere. Calculate the supply frequency and the phase angle between the current and voltage. So here you can see in the circuit diagram, R and C, they are connected in series, and this combination, it is supplied from 60 volt supply. Now the circuit current, that is the current drawn by the circuit, is 5 ampere. So again you can see, if you draw the voltage phasor for this, it means this VR is 50, VC is unknown, and the supply voltage is 60 volt. So from this phasor diagram, we can find out the value of VC. So VC is equal to under root V square minus VR square. So putting the values, we got the value of voltage across the capacitor equal to 33.17 volt. So now the reactance, we know it is equal to voltage across the capacitor divided by the supply current. So it will be 33.17 divided by 5. So it comes out to be 6.63 ohm. Now the supply frequency, we know the formula to calculate it, it is equal to XC is equal to 1 by omega C. So from that we can find out the value of the supply frequency. So it comes out to be equal to 60 Hertz. And again tan phi can be calculated using this voltage triangle. The expression will be tan phi is equal to VC by VR. So this particular tan phi comes out to be 0.6634, and the phase angle, it will be tan inverse of this value. So it comes out to be 33.6 degree leading. That means the current, it is leading the voltage by an angle of 33.6 degree. Now let us discuss the third combination, that is RLC series AC circuit. Now in this case, we have all the three circuit elements that they are connected in series. Now here you can see we will have the voltage across the resistance, it will remain the same, it will be in phase with the supply current. Now we will have this VL and VC. So VL, you can see here, it will be in the first quadrant as we have discussed in case of RL circuit, and this VC, it will be in the fourth quadrant as we have discussed in case of RC circuit. So that means this net voltage, that will be the supply voltage, it is the phasor sum of voltage appearing across the resistance plus VL minus VC whole square. So you can see here again, if we solve this expression, the expression for current will be equal to V by under root R square plus XL minus XC whole square. So this denominator, again, it represents the impedance of this series RLC circuit. And again, if we want to find out the power factor of the circuit, we can use the expression for the impedance triangle. From that we know that cos phi is equal to R by Z. So again, it will be equal to R upon under root R square plus XL minus XC whole square. Now in this case, we have three different scenarios. This particular circuit, it can behave as purely resistive circuit, or this circuit can behave as inductive circuit, or the same circuit can behave as capacitive circuit. So let us discuss one by one. In the first case, if XL is greater than XC, then the net reactance of this particular circuit will be positive. So if reactance is positive, the phase angle will be positive, and in this particular way, this particular RLC series circuit, it will behave as inductive circuit. In the second scenario, if this XC is greater than XL, then the net reactance will be negative, and if this net reactance will be negative, then this particular circuit, it will behave as a capacitive circuit. And in the third situation, if XL becomes equal to XC, then the same circuit, will behave as purely resistive circuit, because the reactance component will become equal to 0. So, the phase angle will be equal to 0 and this circuit will have a unity power factor. Now, let us discuss one numerical related to this series RLC circuit. A 230 volt 50 Hz AC supply is applied to a coil of 0.06 Henry inductance and 2.5 resistance connected in series with 6.8 microfarad capacitor. So, we have to calculate impedance, current, phase angle between current and voltage, power factor, and the last thing is power consumed. So, let us discuss one by one. So, if we have to find out the first part, that is impedance. So, we have derived this expression that impedance is equal to under root R square plus XL minus XC square. So, XL we have calculated it as 18.85 ohm and XC again using the formula we got the value as 468 ohm. Now, as you can see here, XC is greater than XL. So, the circuit will behave as a capacitive circuit. So, the net impedance of the circuit comes out to be equal to 449.2 ohm. Now, if we want to find out the second part, that is the current. So, current will be equal to voltage divided by the impedance. So, it comes out to be equal to 0.512 ampere. The third part is the phase angle. So, for phase angle we can use again the impedance triangle. So, for this RLC circuit, the tan phi will be equal to XL minus XC by R. So, putting all these particular values, we got this tan phi is equal to 179.66 and tan inverse of this minus 179.66, it is 89.7 degree leading. So, as I told you that this circuit is behaving as a capacitive circuit. So, the phase angle will be leading. Now, next fourth part is the power factor. So, cosine of this phase angle will be the power factor. So, it comes out to be 0.005 leading. And the last part is the power consumed. So, we know the formula for power consumed, that is the true power. It is VI cos phi. So, putting all the values of V, I and cos phi, we can find out the total power consumed is 0.65 watt. So, this is all about the three types of series circuit. Now, let us discuss about the series resonance concept. So, first I will discuss what is the term resonance. So, an AC circuit consisting of reactive elements L and C is said to be under resonance when the circuit power factor is unity. So, this statement is true both for the series resonance as well as for the parallel resonance. So, the frequency at which this resonance condition is met when the power factor becomes unity, that frequency is called the resonant frequency. Now, coming to the series resonance concept, if this L and C, they are connected in series and the resonance occurs in that circuit, then that particular circuit will be called as a series resonant circuit. Now, we know that it is only possible that the power factor of the circuit becomes unity when XL is equal to XC. So, XL equal to XC is the condition for series resonance, and we know that XL is equal to 2 pi FRL and XC is equal to 1 by 2 pi FRC. So, using this particular expression, we can find out the expression for resonant frequency. It comes out to be equal to 1 by 2 pi under root LC. Now, this thing is very important for resonance condition. Both the energy storing elements, that L and C, they should be present in the circuit. Now, the key features of this series resonance are, again, first the condition, that is XL is equal to XC. Second, we have just derived this resonant frequency, that is 1 by 2 pi under root LC. The third thing is that impedance at the time of series resonance, it is minimum and it is equal to R. This is due to the fact because the net reactance becomes equal to 0, that means XL is equal to XC. So, this circuit current IR, it will be equal to again V by impedance, and impedance is equal to resistance. So as the impedance is minimum, so the current will be maximum. And the next thing is, we have already discussed that the circuit power factor will be unity at the time of series resonance, and the power dissipated by the circuit will be again maximum, because power dissipation means I square R. So if the current is maximum, the power dissipated will always be maximum in this particular case. Now coming to the graphical representation of this series resonant circuit, here you can see how the circuit behaves under different condition. That means if frequency is less than Fr, if frequency is equal to Fr, and if frequency is greater than Fr. So F stand for the supply frequency and Fr stand for the resonant frequency. So let us discuss the first scenario when the supply frequency is less than Fr. So in this particular region, when the supply frequency is less than Fr, you can see the value of Xc, it is greater as compared to XL. So here the net reactance will be negative and the circuit will behave as capacitive circuit. At the time of resonance, the resonant frequency, it is equal to the supply frequency. In that particular case, your XL will be equal to Xc. So the net reactance will be equal to 0. So here the value of impedance will be minimum. After this, when the frequency becomes greater than resonant frequency, then the value of XL, it will be more as compared to the value of Xc. So due to this reason, the net reactance will be positive. So the circuit will behave as inductive circuit. So these are the three situations in case of series resonance. Now coming to the quality factor of series resonant circuit. So quality factor, it is defined as the voltage magnification factor in this case. So why it is called voltage magnification factor? Because it is the ratio of voltage across the inductor or the capacitor to the supply voltage. Now it is only under this particular series resonance condition that the voltage across inductor or capacitor is many times greater as compared to the supply voltage. So if we write down the expression for this, so quality factor will be equal to VL by V, and we know that VL is equal to I into XL and V is equal to I into R in this case. So I will get cancelled out. That's why quality factor is directly written as XL by R. Now XL, we know that it is equal to omega L. So here omega R, small r denotes the resonance condition. So the quality factor, it can be determined using this formula. In terms of inductance, it will be omega RL by R, and in terms of capacitance, it will be 1 by omega CR. So if we calculate the value of quality factor using either of the two formulas, we will get the same answer. The only difference is that in the first expression, we have considered the inductance of the coil, and in the second, we have considered the capacitance of the coil. So if the quality factor suppose comes out to be equal to 20, so it means the voltage across the inductor or capacitor, it is 20 times greater as compared to the supply voltage. So that's why it is also known as voltage magnification factor. Now another formula that can be used to find out the quality factor, it is in terms of the circuit parameters, that is quality factor is equal to 1 by R under root L by C. So again, this particular formula can be calculated to find out how much is the quality factor of the circuit. And there is a third formula also, that is quality factor is equal to Fr by del F, where Fr is the resonant frequency and del F is the bandwidth. So using either of these three formulas, you can calculate the value of the quality factor. Now coming to the bandwidth, so the bandwidth of a series resonant circuit is the range of the frequencies for which the circuit current is equal to or greater than the 70.7% of the circuit current at resonance. So bandwidth, basically it is the band of the frequency lying on the either side of the resonant frequency where the value of this particular current is 70.7% of the current at the time of resonance. So the lower end frequency, it is called lower cutoff frequency, and the upper frequency, it is called the upper cutoff frequencies. So basically bandwidth, it is denoted by del f, and it is the difference between f2 minus f1. So you can see in this particular figure also that fr is the resonant frequency. We know that at the time of resonance the current is maximum. So you can clearly see in this curve the value of the current is maximum at the time of resonant frequency. And on either side of the resonant frequency where the value of the current that is greater than or equal to 70.7% of the resonant frequency current, that particular band, it is called the bandwidth. So again, bandwidth is equal to f2 minus f1, where f2 is the upper cutoff frequency and f1 is the lower cutoff frequency. Now again, this f1 and f2, they are also known as half power frequencies. So what is the reason for that? As we have discussed earlier, that the power dissipated by the circuit is maximum at the time of series resonance, and it is given by the expression I square R. Now at the time of cutoff frequencies, whether it is lower cutoff frequency or upper cutoff frequency, the value of this current is I by root 2. So if I replace this I in this expression by I by root 2, so the power expression will come out to be equal to P max by 2. So that means at the time of cutoff frequencies, the power dissipated by the circuit is half as compared to the resonance condition. That's why this F1, F2, the cutoff frequencies, they are also known as half power frequencies. Now let us try to solve one numerical related to this also. So a coil of resistance 100 ohm, inductance 100 microhenry is connected in series with 100 picofarad capacitor. The circuit is connected to 10 volt variable frequency source. That means we can vary the frequency. Calculate first part resonant frequency, second current at resonance, third voltage across inductor and capacitor at resonance, and fourth is the quality factor of the circuit. So resonant frequency, as we have derived the expression, it is 1 by 2 pi under root LC. So simply by replacing L and C, we got the resonant frequency as 1.59 megahertz. Second part, current at resonance. So current is equal to, at the time of resonance, we know that impedance is minimum equal to R. So I is equal to V by R. So it comes out to be 0.1 ampere. Now to calculate the voltage, we can use the formula VL equal to I into XL. So it comes out to be 100 volt. Similarly, VC equal to I into XC, it comes out to be equal to 100 volt. And quality factor, putting all the parameters, we got the value of quality factor equal to 10. So that's all in this particular lecture. Thank you.